clean up this mess, and then I'm going to cut back that hydrangea. I'll give you a closer look of what I'm doing when I get to it. But right now we're going to do this clean up right here. So this is a Limelight Prime hydrangea, panicle hydrangea, meaning it can take full sun. It gets about 4 to 5 foot tall and wide. I typically trim mine in the spring when I start to see buds forming or it's leafing out, and then I start to cut the tops off with the dead flowers and everything. But I also go in here and trim out all of the small twig branches, anything I feel like it's overgrown, crossing over each other, and I just shape it. I don't do it in the fall because I don't like if a harsh weather gets down into the stems, and it can cause cracking into the hole, the clipping, the cut that you do. So I just do mine in the spring. We are in central Pennsylvania, and we do get all types of winter weather. Could be freezing, could be mild, could be rainy, you name it, but I'd rather do it in the spring. So when I go in here, I'm gonna clip right above the foliage that is coming out, as you can see, and just top off all the flowers. So just go in there, clip it off. Simple, super simple. These are more, actually they're just a lot easier to grow, maintain. You do like some moisture, so when you first plant them, make sure you have enough water the first year, even through the winter. If we have dry winters, you want to make sure you have adequate moisture. If it doesn't snow here in Pennsylvania, then you need to keep it a little bit water every couple of weeks, just to maintain it through the winter. So that's how we're going to do this. And now I'm just going to set this down, get to work, and we will show you at the end. As you can see, I trimmed out a lot of the lower branches just to give it a better shape, and then I trimmed out all of the small stuff and all the old flower bud. This one didn't really need too much trimming to get it ready for the season, but they will start to bud out probably about late May, beginning of June, and then start out with a more like a lime green, creamy color, and then they'll switch over to pink and then a rusty color in the fall. They do have a very beautiful color to them. They're good for if you want to do arrangements and stuff like that. All along this edge of the flower bed, I have an Itea. I believe that's a Little Henry, and I'm going to trim that with a hedge trimmer just to give it some shape. And then I have a smaller hydrangea, a 9-bark, another hydrangea, and then at some point I will edge the perimeter around this whole bed. But let's get started. This is an oak leaf hydrangea. They prefer morning sun, afternoon shade, especially if you live in a very hot climate. But here in Pennsylvania, it depends on the summer. But this I have morning sun on it, and then it gets some afternoon shade. But I want to trim off the blooms there because you got to get it ready for the season. But these ones are only low maintenance as far as trimming them. You only want to trim right above the new growth foliage. Or if you see a bud here, that one's not. This one's a good one. Super simple, low maintenance, cut out the dead stuff, and you'll be good. See, ready to go. One last hydrangea to trim up. I wanted to trim the lower branches to get it off the ground and make a little more clearance there. And just like that, that one is all trimmed up and ready for the season. I probably could go in there and get some more of the smaller branches in the interior, which I might do, just so I can clean it up a little better. So we finished off with this hydrangea the other day. Yeah, this is the next day. So then I need to clean up some branches that seem to have fallen from a tree up there. And then finish digging out the 9-bark and digging out this butterfly bush, because they're both dead and they're just taking up space, and I'll just put something better that can deal with less sun back here. So we're going to go in and we're going to cut back and start with this 9-bark and just use my handy dandy tool. Now, I prefer to use gloves because I really hate getting my stuff stuck in my hands. So we'll just put some gloves on, ignore the train because I live close to a train, and we'll just cut this stuff out. This DeWalt comes in handy pretty good. So now we're going to dig up the root ball of this thing because I don't want it in here anymore. forget how long ago I put this in. It was nice while it lasted, but it got shaded too much in here from the overgrowth of larger trees around it. So when you don't want something in your flower beds, take it out and replace it with something else that you may find. Simple little thing to do. Now that's done. So we're going to move on to the butterfly bush. So now we're going to come in here and cut this butterfly bush out. Let's speed this up. I'm going to start our edging now, and I use this tool. It's a half moon shaped edger. I don't have any power tools to do it, so this is fine. It works pretty good, especially if you do it in the spring. Then since the ground's moist and everything, it's easier to step and push and then pull up the moist soil. Get a crisper edge too. So alright, so then you don't need to see this repetitively. It'll take just quite a while. So we're gonna speed this up. Need to take a little break. It's wearing me out. I probably should take my sweatshirt off, but I like to wear a sweatshirt when I'm taking things apart, cutting back things so I don't scratch myself and everything like that. So we'll get right back to it, and we'll finish up around the perimeter of this flower bed.